All right. Hi, my Treehouse friends. I am here today with Mitton, one of our awesome trainers. And today we are talking about muscle growth, how to achieve it, why it matters, what the benefits are of really creating muscle growth and having it for our lives and for longevity. So, how are you?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Good. We're so glad to have you and so grateful that you came to hang out with us today.
Thank you.
So start simple. What is muscle growth?
So muscle growth is called hypertrophy. And it's when you apply enough tension, enough mechanical tension to the muscle to cause a little bit of damage in the muscle fibers, which stimulates regrowth and repair.
Mm-hmm.
And that is essential in muscle growth. So, keyword, hypertrophy.
Yes, exactly. I think the other piece here is, any kind of stress, anything that if it's a band, if it's a dumbbell, any kind of stress or tension is creating
That's
a little
right.
bit of that.
Any kind of resistance training.
Yes. Any kind of resistance training. So what does the latest research say the most important factor is for muscle growth?
Your total weekly training volume is the most important factor in muscle growth. And what that means is you want to exercise a muscle about 10 to 20 sets per week. Now this is over the course of the week. This is not all done in one massive training session. So
Right.
you want to split that up and hit each muscle about 10 to 20 sets per week.
And that's absolutely true. How do you personally break that up for yourself?
So you can do it depending on the time that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You can break it up into muscle splits. So we've all heard of the bro split, right?
Yep.
So
explain that to our people watching.
Our bro split is where one day you'll do legs. The next day you'll do back and biceps.
Mm-hmm.
Next day you do chest and triceps. And then you start over. So Monday legs, Tuesday back and biceps, Wednesday chest and tris. Then you hit your legs again. So you've got 6 days a week of
Mm-hmm.
training, and you've hit each muscle group
twice
that week.
Right.
And then take a day off for rest. Now, not everyone has that kind of time.
Right.
And so what I find is working at least 2 full body workouts a week, and ideally 3 full body workouts a week is a great split.
I love that. So you're only really lifting 3 days a week,
Yep.
hopefully doing a little cardio in between or walking or anything like that.
Staying
active.
Walking, hiking, yep.
I think really important is to be able to plan around your life and your lifestyle, what time you have. I mean, there are some people that live at the gym that work out 2 to 4 hours a day, every day. Right. But we have to be realistic, and muscle growth is still achievable.
Absolutely.
So we've talked kind of about what the most important factor is, and training a muscle, like a specific muscle. So if I'm going to do biceps, I should do it probably at least twice a week.
Absolutely.
10 to 20 sets. Tell me about what's a set? People get really confused
on reps
and sets.
So a rep is a singular motion, one biceps curl.
Yes.
Now if you do 10 reps at one right after the other, that is called a set.
Right.
So a set.
We're breaking it down.
Yeah, breaking it down to the simple mechanics. Yeah.
You might not know the answer to this. I get all the time, because you have the gym bro, you have the lady that's just there for strength and longevity.
Yep.
I feel like there is a sweet spot, and I know that I train specifically, but is there a sweet spot in how heavy you should go and how many reps you should do?
So heavy is relative to each individual.
Absolutely.
So what feels heavy to you may not feel heavy to someone else,
Mm-hmm.
or it may be too heavy for someone else. So what you want to look for when you're doing your reps, you want to exercise, you want to lift until you only can do to muscle fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
So only when you could do 1 or 2 more reps.
Right.
And you want to do that every time.
Right. So you're going to muscle failure every set.
Yes. Near failure.
What do you feel like? I've seen the science, and I know that scientists are going to tell the common person to look for what your max rep is and then downgrade from there in percentage, right? That's really hard for the common person to find and navigate. What do you do with your clients?
So I don't do that. I take the math out of it. We do it by how we feel and how much exertion they are putting into their workout.
Smart.
And with proper form. Once the form starts failing, you're done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we want to avoid injury and promote growth.
Right. One thing that I think that's so important, especially if you're looking to hire a personal trainer or having a trainer around, even in a small group format, the form matters so much. And no AI and no Google search is going to fix your form, because the AI is not looking at your alignment as you're going into a squat, right? So making sure that form is perfect for that specific movement, and that might be why someone would need a little help.
Right.
Getting a coach. So the answer to, do you have to lift heavy, is?
Not necessarily.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, everyone thinks you have to lift heavy, and you don't want to start off above your means and beyond what your tendons and ligaments are capable of supporting.
Right.
So lift heavy enough, again, to go to fatigue.
Right.
Now, other methods of building muscle are, you can do more reps, you can do more sets, you can change your tempo, you can shorten your rest between sets. There are all sorts of ways to what's called progressive overload, and that is implementing a strain or a stress on your muscle in a different way. So
perfect.
And it is progressive, so it's a gradual increase or gradual changes, which promotes gradual growth, gradual strength, gradual endurance.
What I've seen a lot of on social media, the typical gym bro of you have to rest for 3 minutes at least, right? You're going super, super heavy and you have to rest for 3 minutes. I think there's a place for it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessarily the only way that you're going to get results.
You're right. But when you are lifting very heavy, when you're doing only 4 to 6 reps per set, that's when you're really exerting yourself. You need that rest.
Exactly. Tell me more about what's happening in the muscle there.
So you're taking it to failure and really applying the maximum stress possible on the muscle when you're lifting that heavy.
Right.
So you've got to rest so that it recovers a little bit and that you get some energy back into the muscle to perform your next set. Now, if you're lifting moderate or moderately heavy, and that's what I lift, I only need 30 seconds between sets.
I love that. And
30 seconds rest.
You guys, I have seen men come to Michelle and be like, how did you get this muscle in your back? She knows what she's talking about. So you can definitely see results in every different format. When you're lifting heavy, 4 to 6 reps, what are you doing in those 3 minutes? Can you lift a different muscle group?
That's a good point. You can superset. So if you've just squatted heavy, 4 to 6 reps, you can go and do shoulders. So while your legs are recovering, you can work a different part of your body. Which is
important for time management if you're under the clock and have to get to work or get to your kids or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about protein.
Oh, yes. So we need protein in our diet to build muscle. And we need it for a lot of other functions, but primarily for building and maintaining muscle, which, by the way, supports our bone density and a lot of other things that are key. So how much protein do we need?
Go ahead.
Okay, we are the research is all over the place, but for muscle growth, you're going to need around 1 gram of protein per pound of your ideal body weight.
And that's at the bottom, right? I wouldn't even eat less than that.
I personally would not.
I mean, we've seen prescriptions up to 2.2. That's a lot of protein.
Yeah, per kilogram.
Per kilogram, yes.
Yeah. So
we're not going pound. You don't have to eat
per pound. Yeah,
200 pounds of protein.
Yeah, exactly.
200 kilograms of protein if you're 200 pounds, right, would be a 1-to-1 ratio. So trying to break it down a little bit more simply.
It is. It's just more simple that way.
Yeah.
Try to get your protein from whole foods, from lean meats. You can supplement if you're not able to consume enough protein that your body is needing for muscle building. You can supplement with protein powder.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think as long as you're getting the amino acids, so your body can't create all the amino acids that you need to have.
That's right. So you need the complete amino acids.
Right, which is what protein gives us, right?
So, it does.
Making sure that you're eating enough protein so that your muscle can regenerate, and that's what your muscle uses. I mean, people that are vegan, that are vegetarian, whatever your dietary needs, you can still get that. It's a little bit more challenging.
It's a little trickier, but you can dial it in.
It's possible. I think one thing to consider especially is the caloric intake, right? So yes, you could get all of your protein from nuts, but the caloric intake is going to be a lot higher.
That's right.
And when you're looking to gain muscle and not fat, if you're overeating a lot of fat.
That's right. If you have too much caloric surplus,
right,
then it's working in the reverse effect.
Exactly. So. Let's talk a little bit about supplements.
Okay.
Supplements in muscle growth.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you prescribe to your clients, or kind of suggest?
So I keep it simple.
Perfect.
So first of all, you want most of your protein or other supplements from your natural food. Okay?
Yes, I love it.
Now, if you want to supplement with something, we talked about protein powder. The other thing that I highly recommend is creatine.
That one's so important, and we didn't necessarily realize it until recently in recent research, right?
Right. You see it all over the place, research and experiments. But creatine is a compound that our body naturally produces, and most of it is kept in our muscle fibers, 95%. Side note, it also helps tremendously with brain function.
Isn't that amazing?
And yes.
Yeah.
So the minimum amount of creatine that a person needs to supplement with a day, just to replace what you're using in your muscles, if you are doing resistance training, is 5 grams. I do 7.5 grams a day.
Do you? Good job.
Yes. Just my muscles are using up the 5 grams. The other 2.5 is going to brain function.
I love that. So, I need to increase by 2 grams because I'm only doing 5.
It helps.
That's smart.
It helps with sleep deprivation too, and brain fogginess, but it really does help stimulate muscle growth if you are also doing resistance training.
Absolutely.
You can't just take creatine and expect your muscles to grow and develop on its own. You have to stimulate that process.
I think that's true for any supplement. Anything that you're ingesting, you can get the right amount of protein, but if you're not doing the stimulus, you're not stressing the muscle. Even if, they've done studies for endurance athletes with creatine as well, like the explosiveness. You won't. It's so good if you're trying to use explosive movements in anything that you're doing with an athlete, right?
It does. During your workout, it really provides that energy to your muscles to work hard and perform those explosive movements.
Exactly.
Do more reps, lift a little heavier. So
I love that.
I just pop some in my coffee every morning and drink it throughout the day. So it's
smart. I found one that tastes so good. I can't remember. It's just a creatine monohydrate.
Yes.
I put it in like a coconut LaCroix, and it's like yummy afternoon drink.
Right.
I'm here for it. What do you think are the most common mistakes people make when they're trying to build muscle?
So I think inconsistency, or being sidetracked with a variety of different workouts and following different things on social media. So inconsistency, not going to muscle failure.
That is
you really, when
big.
you're here working out, get it done.
I think
come in, work hard.
There's maybe confusion about what muscle failure looks like.
There is. So what it looks like is when you're lifting, say your goal is to do 10 reps. So you've started out with maybe 20 pounds for biceps curls. You're reaching rep number 8, 9, and 10 are so hard you could squeeze out 1 or 2 more reps.
Yeah.
Stop there. That is muscle failure with proper form.
Right. And then I'm not going to pick it up and be able to do it right away.
Yep.
Like your muscle is tapped. There's a difference between muscle fatigue and muscle failure.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Where fatigue, I could still maybe pick it up and do a couple more with good form, but it's like I'm not hitting that, I can't lift without
failure,
the momentum of swinging.
Complete your rep. That's a good distinction.
Yeah.
Other common mistakes would be not resting enough in between workouts.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Tell me, let's talk about recovery. What our bodies genuinely need to recover and rest in between our workouts.
So,
and how do I know that I'm recovered?
Right. Go listen to your body first of all. You might work out when you come and work out. You're going to work out with intensity. Those muscles that you worked out, they're going to need 24 to 48 hours to repair. So remember, we talked about in muscle growth, you tear the muscle fibers and they regenerate and repair. Well, they tear while you are working out.
Right.
They repair during recovery.
Right.
And that's when you're resting that specific muscle and giving 24 to 48 hours to rework that muscle.
Right.
So recovery also includes sleep, stress management, and most importantly, nutrition.
Absolutely.
So eating the healthy foods, eating the appropriate amount of protein. So those are all essential
to
for
help your body recover faster, right?
Yeah.
We haven't necessarily targeted progressive overload yet. We've talked a little bit about it, but tell me what progressive overload is.
So progressive overload is where you slowly introduce more stress on the muscle. So this is over the course of time.
Right. It's not
weeks,
necessarily
months.
the same day.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So you overload it, you stress the muscle in different ways to promote the growth, endurance, and strength. So ways you can do that, we touched on this maybe a little bit earlier, but increasing the weight that you're lifting, increasing the number of reps, the number of sets, reducing your rest period.
Right. All of that will fatigue you a little bit more.
Right. It creates a different stress.
I mean, when you're talking mathematically, you hear, 10% or whatever, but what does that mean?
Listen to your body.
Yeah.
So if you typically are doing a moderately heavy workout, you're doing 8 to 12 reps per set, and that starts getting easier after 2 or 3 weeks, it's time to change it up. So increase the weight a little bit.
Right.
Until you can stay within that window of your target reps.
Right.
And still
with good form.
Near failure. Yes, with good form.
I love it. I love it. We definitely hit recovery. Is there anything else that you want to make sure that our viewers know about within recovery?
I would just say, again, listen to your body. If you're extra sore, maybe give a little extra time. Do some foam rolling. Stretching is important for recovery.
Yeah.
Rest as much as you can. I know we're all busy, but getting
enough sleep is not always easy. Yeah.
Yeah. And supplement with the creatine.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
All those things will definitely help. Final takeaways within, building muscle, anything else that you really want to make sure people know about?
Hit home with. So I would say to be successful in your muscle growth, the first thing is be consistent. So if you're just getting started, come in, do 2 full body workouts a week. Follow everything else we've talked about with the rest and recovery, protein intake, good nutrition. But start there. Be consistent. When you're here at the gym, work with intention and intensity. Hit it hard. You've got a small window of time, maybe. Work out only 30 to 45 minutes.
Right.
But be consistent.
Well, I mean,
makes a difference.
That creating the habit to be consistent is the biggest key, right? Because that's what you're after for longevity anyway. And it's been proven that the more muscle that you have, the better quality of life that you'll have in the long run.
It affects everything.
Yeah. So get yourself to the gym.
And do it consistently. Eat your protein.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for joining me.
You.
That was fun.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching all of that we had to say. If you guys have questions, shoot them our way. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.